Man, that last Studio Ghibli review was pretty intense, wasn't it? Well, thankfully, I'm happy to say that this is a return to the more lighthearted fare. In fact, I could argue it's one of the most lighthearted movies in Ghibli's entire filmography. And it's one of their most iconic. After all, this particular character literally became their logo. Kinda hard to argue that. And you may think, oh, well, it doesn't look like much on the surface. You have two sisters, you have this magical creature, it's probably like every other animated movie you've ever seen. Well, both yes and no. It does follow some of those cliches that you expect it to, but it does it so well that you don't care, because not every movie that follows those cliches has to be for the worse. It can be for the better, too. Sometimes sticking with what is already established is the best course of action. And this is definitely that, because this is one of the cutest, most heartwarming, and just happy movies I think I've seen in a while. And it's even more lighthearted than Castle and Nausicaa. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot to talk about with this one. As we talk about what is arguably the most famous of Studio Ghibli's movies. Again, literally became their logo. So, what's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my station, which is for anything and everything animation, including TV and movies. I'm your host, Jackson Small. I'm still working on a tagline for the Ghibli month thing. I'm sorry. Welcome to my review of what is arguably their most famous and classic film in their filmography, and the one that obviously most people are going to know first before anything else. And that is My Neighbor Totoro. Even though I'd argue that Princess Kaguya and Mononoke are way more iconic, but we will get there when we get there. But with Totoro, it is a simple movie, it is a simple story, but it is so just happy. Like, so much of this movie is joyful, happy, and full of just wonder. It's really hard to explain without spoilers, trust me. But it is an amazing film. Like, I really love this one. And I can see why most people love it too, and again, why it's become so iconic in terms of Ghibli movies. So, without further ado or delay, let's dive straight into it. Here's my written review for My Neighbor Totoro. I hope you enjoy, and I really hope you check this movie out after you watch this review. Here we go. After the sadness of Fireflies, Ghibli decided to return back to their lighthearted fantasy fare for their fourth animated feature film, and all the better for it, as this next project turned out to be such a beloved, heartwarming classic that it literally became Ghibli's own logo. And even more exciting is that Disney re-released this one the same year they re-released Nausicaa, bringing the tradition of high-profile voice acting back into the fold after it being absent for a minute with Grave of the Fireflies. When twin sisters Mei and Satsuki Kusakabe, sorry if I'm mispronouncing names, I'm an uncultured idiot, moved to the countryside with their father Tatsuo to be closer to their ailing mother, they have wonderful adventures in the nearby forest that'll change their lives forever, as well as meeting an unusual new friend along the way. Starting with the voice acting again, because despite being much smaller than Castle or Nausicaa, I think there's only like 4 or 5 voices in this entire movie. It's a really tiny cast. It is still stacked with talent. The biggest one being Dakota Fanning and her sister Elle as the twins Mei and Satsuki. I think we all know Dakota Fanning by now, and I think we all know her twin sister Elle as well. Superman himself, Tim Daly, as Tatsuo. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect that one, but I will take more Tim Daly. Dude's freaking awesome. Ursula herself, the late great Pat Carroll, may she rest in peace, as Grandma. Leah Salonga as their mother, and another appearance from Frank Welker, but this time as the titular Totoro. And apparently he's also the voice of the cat bus, according to the Wikia. And like previous Disney dubs, it's full of wonderful performances, especially Elle Fanning, who is adorable as Mei. Like, all throughout this movie, whenever she spoke, I just couldn't help but smile. Elle as the younger Kusakabe sister is absolutely freaking adorable. And of course, Tim Daly being a kind, nurturing soul as Tatsuo. Like, you think that a character like that, the father character that's usually in the background in these kind of movies, wouldn't be all that memorable, but Tim Daly, being Tim Daly, makes it work. Yes, it's not as iconic as him voicing Superman for obvious reasons, but he made this character a lot more interesting than you'd think just by looking at it at first glance. But that is far from the end of this film's many woodland wonders, because the story is heartwarming, the tone is lighthearted, the writing is sharp, and it's pure simplicity. I can't English today, I'm sorry. Animation is wonderful and very, very cute. Yes, it is still the Ghibli style, but it's done in a way where it's a lot more like a watercolor storybook. Like, this movie is beautiful to look at a grand majority of the time, and with some of the character expressions especially, it can be very cute. The characters are unforgettable. I love Mei, I love Satsuki, I love their father Tatsuo, and of course, I love Totoro. Like, yes, he is a bit of a simple character, but he's so just interesting and lovable. Characters are unforgettable in this movie, plain and simple. The runtime's perfect, it's short, it's brief, but it wastes zero time. The jokes are pretty funny. This movie's actually pretty hilarious. That legit surprised me. It ends on a joyful note for once. The morals of family are amazingly well delivered, and rewatchability is high. Like, I can see myself popping this movie in whenever I just want something that I can just smile and have a nice, laid-back, pleasant experience with. Sure, it is a bit simpler than the previous Ghibli movies, and Totoro himself is very much a background character. Like, he's there, he's cute, and he does do what he needs to do, but I don't know. I feel like he should have been in it just a little bit more. That's just my personal opinion. But after something as intense as Fireflies, it was the perfect course correction to something much closer to Ghibli's first two features, but also making it stand out from other previous projects with its much lighter, happier tone, which helps make it more accessible to families and children. But it still has that subtext that keeps the adults interested as well. So, this is one of those excellent animated movies that's able to appeal to both adults and kids. In other words, it's a perfect family film. Like, kids will love it, I'm pretty sure teens will love it, adults will love it. It's just a wonderful family film, and it is super, super cute. I seriously cannot say that enough. If there's one word I can use to describe Totoro, it's cute. It's simply an animation classic for all ages, and there's no surprise why it is one of the most beloved and classic movies in Ghibli's entire very impressive catalog. Please excuse my Discord as it refuses to shut up on my computer. Final verdict for My Neighbor Totoro is a high and well-deserved 9 out of 10. Yes, I don't like it more than Nausicaa or Castle, but it's still an adorable movie, it's still an animation classic, and if you have not seen it yet, you need to. It is a wonderful animated feature. Well, that's it. That is all I've got for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time when we check in with Mary Jane Watson herself, Kirsten Dunst, because next up is Kiki's Delivery Service. As soon as I heard that she was voicing the main character, I got super excited, so I can't wait to see that one. I'll see you in the next review.